Rolla, hey. You already know it's your girl Royal Press. Yes, and today I am back with another YouTube video. And this YouTube video is about my homeless experience. Yes, your girl was homeless at some point. And we're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, pause this video and hit that subscribe button. Yeah, that little red thing. Yeah. And that little bell right next to it. So without further ado, we're going to get into the time I became homeless. Now, it all started out with me leaving Springfield in May to come to Philadelphia. Now, before I left Springfield, I was staying with a friend for about a week. It's just me and my aunt at the time who had adopted me. We were butting heads like awfully crazy, like back to back, and I'm not even gonna lie, I started to feel unwanted after a point. So I just felt as though when the time was right, the time was right. So I had to prepare myself, and I did. I had my friend come pick me up one day. We're gonna call her Stacy. Stacy had came to pick me up and got most of my things from my aunt, and I stayed with her for a week. And by the end of that week, I just couldn't think of nothing but my sisters, because yeah, you know, I would talk to them and tell them everything, so they already knew that I was going to be leaving. And it still kind of hit home because those are my babies. My sisters are my babies. I mean, come on. Shantae, period. Yeah, let's get into it. Tina, period. And Quenisha. Yeah, those my dogs. Those are mine, period. So you hear them names? Yeah, just know it's a heavy hitter coming behind them, baby. Yeah. But anyways, my sisters were the only ones who knew that I would be leaving and where I would be going. And when the time had hit, I was staying at my friend Stacy's. Ended up getting on the Greyhound and taking that long ride. I had traveled from Springfield in May to Philadelphia, PA. And I'm going to tell y'all, now when I got on that bus, I'm going to be completely honest with y'all, I had no idea where I would be staying, where I would be laying my head, where I would be washing, none of that. I had no idea of that, I'm going to be honest. But once I had got back to Philadelphia, I ended up staying with my grandmother. And I ended up also, because I couldn't stay with my grandmother that long, because of the facility she was staying in, I was not on her lease. Now, you know, when somebody's not in your lease, they cannot stay there that long, or you could potentially lose your place. So I had to be between my grandmother's, my mom's, and she was renting a room at the time. So I had to stay with my mom, my grandmother, and I was staying at, we're going to call, I'm not even going to call them anything, supposedly family members. I was staying with supposedly family members. So I was between everywhere. Now, at first, I didn't really like going to my mom's that much because she was only in a room, renting a room, and I wasn't really okay with the people who she was renting a room from because I didn't like certain things that was going on. So as I'm staying with the other family members, they started to do me dirty, and I'm already building myself up. Why do you need to keep pulling me down and stealing from me and stuff like that? I just got back to the city. I'm rebuilding myself. So why do you think it's okay to steal from me or to break me down or try to ruin everything that I got coming my way? And I'm helping you out in the same token. Now, these family members did get me on my feet. They helped me get my first job being back in the city. Helped me transfer all of my insurance and everything over. Helped me get the things that I needed. like birth certificate, social, everything. They did. But at the same time, y'all, how can you help somebody like that and then beat them down, steal from them, and take advantage of them? But you're helping them at the same time. No. So I cut that family and that house short, those family members. I cut them short completely, cut all ties with them, left them alone, and ended up eventually, because I didn't want to keep staying from house to house, renting out a room. Now, the person who I was renting the room out from was supposedly one of my mom's friends. She was supposed to be a friend of my mom's, but she ended up doing me dirty too. She, one day, just 2 days, I'm going to mention, after I paid this, now mind you, I was already feeling a type of way about this lady. Oh, you're going to be fine. We're going to work it out. I'm going to put everything on paper for you. The lady never put anything on paper for me to feel more comfortable. So I never signed anything or anything to even be renting out a room from this lady. But anyways, I ended up renting out a room from this lady. She ended up putting me out her house 2 days after I paid her rent, because this lady was just that cruel. Now, mind you, I don't want to give this lady too much satisfaction, but how can you put somebody out that's the only person in your house cleaning it up, and you're nasty? All you do is drink or smoke. How can you put that person out? I'm giving you the money to keep your crib. I'm cleaning your crib at the same time, but you want to put me out? Okay, you got it, sis. So then we get into the nitty gritty, the main event, and the main thing I wanted to get into. All that other and all them other people was irrelevant. Now we're going to get into me ended up in the shelter. Because once she put me out, she threw all of my stuff out, messed up my clothes, everything. So I ended up having to go into the shelter because I couldn't turn to anyone or anywhere else at the time. Because I wasn't going to look backwards or revamp or anything. So I ended up in the shelter. Y'all, mind y'all, I told y'all when I went in there, the lady messed up all of my stuff. So I'm pretty much going in the shelter with nothing. So I ended up every week while I'm in the shelter having to wait for, it was a boutique across from our shelter. And she knew, that it was a shelter right there. Like, the type of shelter I was in, you can't really tell it's a shelter or anything like that. It's a woman's shelter. So I had to humble myself. I know I needed clothes. I knew I had to, build my wardrobe back up. I would have to wait every week for this lady to put clothes out, free clothes out. And it would be crazy. You would have to beat everybody else out in a shelter over there. You had to beat them over there, because if somebody beat you over there and all the good stuff is gone, you ain't gonna have nothing, honey. So I had to be over there early to wait for this lady to put clothes out. The plus about it, though, I ended up connecting with some girls in there, and they became really good friends of mine. They looked out, and yeah, they was my dogs. Cause I feel as though I really connected with them, and I really keep them close to my heart, because if we all could be down like that and help each other, that means a lot to me. So shout out to them. They know who they are. And my roommate, oh my gosh, the roommate I had, you guys, she was hilarious. This lady was a sweetheart. She was a piece of work. She was about in her 50s, I believe. But she was also in there. And she taught me a lot too. And I feel like I grew. Like, I grew as a person. Because I would have never thought. I was one of those people, I'm like, I'm never going to end up in that situation. I'm never going to have to live like that. And y'all, I had to live like that. I had to be in that situation. Same situation I used to always tell myself I never was going to be in, I was in. I was living with people. I was in a shelter. I barely had anything. Had to think of every day, am I going to have to sleep outside or stuff like that. But thank God, actually, that shelter came in my life at that time. Because if I ain't had that, I wouldn't have had nothing. Even though I had family, but that's the crazy thing about it. I had family, but at that time, I didn't have family. Because it was family members that knew I was in the shelter. And that was in the same city as me, that knew. And still wouldn't help me a lick. But did I let that get to me? No. Because look at where I'm at now. Period. But I just say that all to say, don't judge the next person. Y'all might be like, oh, that girl, she on Section 8. She got a crib. She stable. She set. She could bathe. She could eat. She got everything she need to keep her stable in life. She got a crib. Oh, all she live off of is EBT. And she gonna eat. It's a factor that she gonna eat long as she got that card. Stop judging the next person because of their situation. Because for one, that person could be you. For two, if they got that, it's going to take care of them. It's all about how you take care of your situation. So think before you do stuff, y'all. Me, I started to think, oh, I wish I could turn back the time and go back. But then what kept me, I didn't want to give up so quick. I wanted to show people that I can do it. I can live on my own. I can take care of me and mine. I can handle my business when it comes down to me. And I am going to be set when it comes down to anything that I need. And your girl did it. I carried myself throughout living in a shelter. Period. When I didn't know where I was going to live or lay my head, I worked it out. Period. It may be house to house at that time, it was. But each time I had somewhere to wash, I had somewhere to feed myself, and I had somewhere to gain my energy to get up and get to work. And being as though I didn't give up, I have my own spot now for about 1.5 years. And I'm going to continue to take care of myself, and I'm going to continue to learn. Because I'm going to have me. Living in a shelter or not having certain things don't define you. It's about how you going to figure out how to go get it. Because laying around or just letting yourself fail and doing nothing about your situation ain't going to get you anything out of that situation. Yeah, I'm going to sit, y'all. If you know, you know. These are my shot. Bussin'. I'm just playing, y'all, but those are bussin'. But yeah. I can't wait to go up with y'all. I know y'all might be a little tired of my story times, but let me tell y'all, I may say this all the time. Excuse me, y'all. Gotta fix myself. My shirt is, yeah. But wait, let's get into the outfit. Little light, little something light, period. But If you have not done so yet, baby, hold up. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. If you're watching me and you have not subscribed yet, what are you doing? What are you here for? Hit that subscribe button. Yeah. It's where you press. Yes.